you know, first of all, this is a true testament to the fact that the canine program in the town of Fairfield is very well received. Because if we had a bigger room, I think we'd have a bigger crowd. And that speaks volumes to the fact that several months ago, actually almost a year ago now, we realized within the town of Fairfield Police Department that the canine program was a need that we have not fulfilled for the last several years. So our goal at that point was to reestablish that program, and today I'm very happy and proud to say that we have successfully met that goal, and today will be the introducing our newest member to the Fairfield Police Department. So I want to thank everybody for coming here. There are a lot of people here, and early on I said that I would make sure that I made some introductions, but for fear of offending anyone, I'm certainly going to leave that introductions up to yourselves. But I can tell you that there are members of the community here. First of all, I want to welcome the first Selectman Mike Tetreau here. Thank you, sir, for coming, as always. The chairman of our police commissioner, Arthur Hirsch, is here, and in a moment I'll ask him to come up and say a few words as we go forward. But there are retired officers. I do want to make one more introduction. Sergeant Bill Krafik, retired, who was one of our prior canine handlers, is in the crowd here and is obviously a great supporter of the canine program within the town of Fairfield and the Fairfield Police Department. But there are many people here, and obviously you're all here for the same reason, and that's to support the Fairfield Police Department in its mission to make Fairfield safer. One of the ways we're doing that is by reestablishing our canine program. So with that being said, I'd like to bring the chairman of the Board of Police Commissioners up just to say a few words. Thank you, sir.
I'd like to welcome everybody here this morning. Mr. Tetreau, our new first selectman, and I'd like to say that a great deal of effort has gone into this new addition to our agency. And I'd also like to say and thank the community as a whole for the outpouring of support monetarily for our new asset to the agency. And with that, I'll make it short and sweet. Back to the chief. Thank you.
And I will make it short and sweet too, but I think it's important that we at least review how we got to where we are. As I said several months ago, it was our goal to reestablish the canine program in the town of Fairfield. A couple things had to be done to meet that goal. The first was to see whether or not there was an interest. And by the mere fact that you're all here today, we certainly can prove that there is an interest. Not only in the community, but also within the organization. We have felt the need to have this resource available to us. We've been utilizing the resources of our neighboring towns to fulfill that need, and we felt, and we still believe, and to this day acknowledge the fact that having a canine unit within the police department certainly makes us a stronger police department. So we found that there was an interest. This is not necessarily the best of times to be establishing a new program. We all know financial difficulties within the town, within the state, within the nation certainly makes it difficult to go out and establish new programs. So we needed to see whether there was an opportunity for some community support, not only support in the program but also financial support. And I can tell you that there was a ton of financial support for this program, some of which will continue today, and we'll get on that in a moment. But later on, after the swearing in, Storm Ruger Company is going to show how that financial support continues. But before I touch on the efforts of Storm Ruger, I just want to point out the fact, and forgive me if I say some of these names wrong, but I really think it's important that people understand the support financially that the town of Fairfield and the Fairfield Police Department received. General Electric, Mike Cairo is in the audience. Thank you very much for your support financially. And you know, General Electric is one of those corporations that has been in town for a long time, and not many people realize the relationship that General Electric, such a large corporation, has with the town of Fairfield and the town of Fairfield Police Department. It goes beyond the financial support. We recognize that, and we want to thank you for that. Dr. Joan Poster, is she here? Dr. Poster is a veterinary doctor who is providing the services for our canine program, and we want to thank her for that. People's United Bank, I don't know whether there's anybody from People's here. People's United Bank comes to the Fairfield Police Department's request for aid and assistance all the time, and they have certainly stepped forward for us financially and in other ways to support the program. Those are some of the large corporations that have donated. We have had donations from kids collecting cans, throwing money into a bucket for us. We've had donations from just residents within the town of Fairfield, and some of them I want to point out. One is Bob Grant from Wired Wash off of Tunxas Hill Road, donated a lot of money through his company. Hobbytown had a fundraising event. Nutmeg Bowl had a fundraising event. Bearing Star Insurance has helped us and supported us financially. The Sound Tigers had an event at their establishment that helped us raise some money, and the Sports Center in Shelton also donated some of their resources to it. So it goes beyond the town of Fairfield. Some of the citizen support that we've received, Mr. and Mrs. Adam Simon from Toilsome Hill Road made a substantial commitment to this program, as did the Finlay family on Crestwood Road, the Conroy family on Saskell Hill Road. And if anybody, have I mentioned anybody who's here? I know Bearing Star's here. Mrs. Conroy, thank you very much for your support. You know, corporate support is welcome and very significant, but when individual family members and individual residents in our community say, you know what, I support that program so much that I'm willing to donate some financial assistance to it, is just huge for us. Mrs. DuPont, obviously thank you very much for coming. Mrs. DuPont has offered, which is significant, has offered her property to us, and always a big supporter of the Fairfield Police Department for many, many years, and to have you allow us to have our new canine officer roam your property up there is always welcome to us. Marty Chavone from MS Running Productions, always a big supporter. Mr. and Mrs. Bryan from Northwood Road. Dorothy Cox from Harvester Road. The students from Sherman School held a fundraiser, as did the students from McKinley School. And Mitch from Gunsmithing Limited on Lacey Place also supported the program. And in addition to that, we have, in the Fairfield Police Department, are fortunate that we have relationships with our surrounding law enforcement communities and our law enforcement departments throughout the region. And the Westport Police Department certainly has been a big supporter of the Fairfield Police Department, as the Norwalk Police Department. So we've looked to some of our community partners to help us in this endeavor. So that is a list, and I can tell you that it is certainly not a complete list of the donations that we have gotten, and I'm sure that there will be more donations down the road for us. Now, that was the community support. I'll take you back to where I was going. We needed to see whether there was financial support for it. We've met those financial goals that we've established for the program. Now we had to find an officer. We asked if there was interest within the organization for officers. Several officers applied and went through the interview. All were very qualified officers who could fulfill that role. We have selected Officer Kevin Wells to be our newest officer, and then we needed to select a dog. You can't have a canine without a canine dog. I know some of this is elementary for everyone, but you need both. You need the officer and the dog. So we did that. Now, it is my great pleasure, for the first time in public, and it is that important to us. It really is. That for several years we've been lacking in this organization what we're about to see here today. So it is my great pleasure to introduce and stay very far away from Officer Kevin Wells and the newest member to the Fairfield Police Department, Ruger.
Here. Sit. Sit. Ruger. Ruger. Sit. Good. Sit. Sit. Stay. Good. Wow. Of course, this is the first time he's been in a crowd like this, so this is very new. I just want to thank everybody for coming today. The support through the community, like I overheard the chief saying, has been unbelievable. This program would not be possible without your support. It's really been an unbelievable experience. As you can tell, the obedience, we've just started obedience training. Ruger, the experience that Ruger and I have had so far has just been, it's unbelievable. I couldn't have asked for a better dog. He has lived with me for the past 2 months. Like I said, we just started the obedience. We've been doing tracking also a little bit. We're going to start a full-time academy in about a week and a half. It's very challenging. Ruger has a great ball drive, what they call. He's very eager to work. He wants to get out there. It's pretty much play to Ruger. As you can tell, he gets very excited very easily. This is the first time he's been in front of a crowd like this. Usually it's 5-10 people in the training class, so this is something very new to Ruger also. Go ahead.
One of the things that I neglected to do is introduce Chief Fellner from the fire department. It goes without saying that the relationship that the police department and the fire department and all of emergency services have in the town of Fairfield is extremely well represented, and obviously thank you for coming, Chief. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
With that, I'd like to ask the first selectman for the town of Fairfield, Michael Tetreau, to come up and say a few words, and then we will begin the swearing in of our newest
Just quickly, I'd be remiss if I didn't recognize the chief and the leadership of the police department for being innovative in terms of how to bring this program to Fairfield in terms of 2 levels. One, how to improve service levels from an already great group of people in our police department, but also how to do it at no cost to the taxpayer, and doing it creatively in terms of bringing all of our citizens together. When we look at our town, we've got a lot of different interests in a very diverse group, but I compliment the chief in terms of bringing not only our citizens together, our school children into this, our corporate citizens, and I want to thank you all for your support in supporting the town. It's great to see our community come together and support an initiative like this. So thank you very much, Chief, and thank you to your entire leadership team on doing this. Without further ado, it is my great privilege to give the oath of office to Canine Officer Kevin Wells and Canine Ruger. If you'll raise your right hand, you'll raise your right paw, please.
I was waiting for that.
Do you solemnly swear to support the Constitution of the United States and the state of Connecticut, so long as you remain a citizen thereof, and will you faithfully discharge, according to law, the duties of a Fairfield police officer and canine unit to the best of your ability, so help you God?
We will.
Congratulations, and welcome aboard.
Thank you.
All right. And then we are now going to pin this badge on Ruger, and as I've been warned, I'm going to leave this to Officer Wells.
Thank you. Ruger. Sit.
Stay. Now, we are certainly not done with the program. Would ask Kevin, Officer Wells, to read a canine pledge, which basically goes towards the canine unit and exactly the mission that it will fulfill within the organization. And then the program is not over, because I have some more exciting news to talk about.
I promise to be worth every cent of the money it took to train me. I promise to track down criminals who threaten and harm our community. I promise to stand with you against the violence that penetrates our society. I promise to sniff out the drugs being advertised to your children. I promise to stay resolved and focused upon the success of our mission. No matter what happens, I will stay by your side as your loyal companion until the very end. I will never leave your side. I will never waver. I will never give up.
You gonna keep him here? Can we do the next portion? Yeah?
I'll bring him up.
Okay. All right. At this point, just prior to ending, I'd like to just comment on how we came up with the name of the newest officer, or the newest member of the department. We basically asked Officer Wells to, obviously Officer Wells is now making this officer part of his family, part of his job. We felt it important that Officer Wells determine what name he would like his dog to have. And Officer Wells came back one day and said that he'd like to call it Ruger. And obviously we thought it was a great name, and one of the first things I did was call Leslie Gasper from Sturm Ruger here in Fairfield, who has always been a great supporter of the Fairfield Police Department, to ask whether that was okay. I don't know whether I really had to do that or not, but I guess we did, and Leslie actually was extremely excited about the fact that our newest member of the organization would have at least portion of the name of the company that has been in Fairfield for such a long time. So, with that, I want to introduce Mike Pfeiffer, who is the CEO of Storm Ruger, who is, I'd like him to come up and just say a few words, and then they have a presentation to make not only to the Fairfield Police Department, but also to Officer Wells himself. So with that, Mike, thank you very much for coming, and I appreciate it.
Thank you, Chief.
Thank you.
I just want to say how honored we were that Bill Ruger Sr. and the company he built here in Southport, Fairfield, would be recognized this way. So we're delighted to continue our support of the department. And I think we've got a couple of things, starting with a check. That's always welcome, I'm sure. And so, Chief, we've got a check here to help support the maintenance of Ruger and the Canine program.
Thank you very, very much.
Okay. And then we've got a little something for Officer Wells for his... and Officer Wells, just with the protocol here. All right. We'd like to provide one of our newest products as a sort of an off-duty backup weapon for Officer Wells and Officer Ruger.
Thank you very much, sir.
We also have a goodie bag from Ruger.
Very nice. Thank you very much.
Chief, call us anytime you need support.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you very much.
Thanks again.
Okay, and with that, just to reiterate in closing, we could not have, and I mean that sincerely, this day would not have happened if it were not for the support of all the people in this room, as well as the entire community here in the town of Fairfield and beyond the town of Fairfield. It is a testament to the men and women of the Fairfield Police Department that we have such support, and it's a testament to all of you today to know that just as much as you support us, it is our mission to support you. And again, thank you very much for all the members of the Fairfield Police Department for being here today and for being here every day while we go out and fulfill our mission. Thank you very much. And with that, we're open.